Well, hello, I'm Antonio Bullock, and I want to thank you for taking the time to take a look at this presentation. What I'm going to show you is how to sell your home fast and for more money. And this is for anyone who's wanting to sell them homes themselves, or as a FISBO as we call it, or if your home is being sold by someone else. Now, first, I'd like to congratulate you if you're taking the plunge to sell your home for your first time yourself. With so much available out there online, it's a great opportunity to save yourself some money. So, what I want to do in this brief presentation is to give you some tips on how you can sell your home to the most opportune buyer, and that would be someone who's actually wants to pay more for your house. Now, what we're going to cover in this presentation are two things. Number one, why 83% of homeowners selling their home themselves fail to sell the house. Okay. But we don't have to worry about it because of number two, how I'm going to ensure that you will not only sell your house, but you absolutely sell it for top dollar. Now, 17% is the national average of currently of successful homeowners that actually sell their homes themselves. And whether it's luck or they have a technique, it varies, but we're going to show you what you need to do to be among that 17. And that's for people who are marketing their homes themselves. Now, it's not like years before. 17% is a small amount when you think of the number of homes that are being sold by themselves. Now, years ago, do you realize that up to maybe 70% of homeowners years ago actually sold their homes themselves and were successfully? And this was way before the internet and things like targeted marketing and using data, which we'll go over, which add to the distractions. But today you're going to learn how to sell your house. Okay. Now, what I don't want you to do is, if you haven't done it already, is load your house up onto a place like Zillow and just wait. Okay, that can be disastrous. That's not going to help you sell your house. And here's what I mean. If you load your house on Zillow currently, have you noticed who you're contacted by? Real estate agents. And there's a reason for that, which we'll get into. But what you're going to find is that Zillow in turn actually gives people who want to contact you about your house, they give them to realtors to do it on your behalf. Okay. So that's why you may not be getting the phone calls that you thought you'd be getting when you started to sell your house. You're getting contacted by realtors. And so what you need to be doing is doing what we call target marketing. You need to get rid of your marketing department that you're doing right now, and you need to change and pivot to another system that's going to help you sell your house. Now, many services right now allow you to sell your house on the MLS for as low as 99 bucks. Okay. And when you do that, all you're really doing is having your house loaded up to realtor.com and a few other websites. But again, it's still going to sit. And who's going to be seeing your house mostly? It's still going to be realtors that you're going to be contacted by. Now, don't you think that buyers who are really in the market, they're already on Zillow and they're on realtor.com? So the question is, why aren't you getting the contacts that you need to sell your house? Okay. Now, you are in fact hiring yourself as the company to sell your house, right? So you need to be hiring yourself as a marketing director, and that's what matters. So what I'm going to discuss now is how top producing marketing experts sell their homes today. Just as an example, I'm a real estate agent. I'm with Sampson Properties here in the Bowie and DC area. And the homes I represent, we use a targeted marketing approach. And that's kind of like the secret sauce that we use to sell your house. And I'm going to give you that information today so you can use that secret sauce yourself. And you may ask, why am I spreading this goodwill and sharing my techniques? Well, hopefully it'll do one of two things. You're going to probably, if you implement them, have tons of buyers who are going to call you, but you only have one house to sell. So if I show you how to do this, maybe you'll turn those people over to me and I'll help them sell the house, help them find a house rather. And for some reason, if you don't want to use my techniques, maybe you'll give me a shot as a professional to help you in some other way. Okay. Now, when we're talking about top producing marketers selling your house, they're using the techniques and the amenities of your house to help market that to the most opportune strategic buyer. Now, there are things like we would ask you, what made you buy your house in the first place? Okay, that'll help you understand who's going to buy your house. And what that does allows us to do is to find the most opportune buyer. And we're going to show them the specifics of your house, because these are going to be people that we're going to go after who want exactly what your home has to offer. So if you're taking notes, I want you to write down two words, and you see them at the bottom there: target market or target marketing. Okay. Now, you want to use this approach as opposed to using the spaghetti approach, where you're just throwing it at the wall and you're going to see what sticks in hopes that a buyer shows up. That'll be disastrous. There are plenty of homes that sit on the market that use that technique and are not successful. So right now in our market, I'm not sure if you're aware, but homes that are marketed correctly are selling in about 5 to 7 days. From the time they go on the market, they're having a contract in 5 to 7 days. So if your house has been on the market for longer than 5 days, you've already missed one market cycle. So you don't want to miss too many of those. Okay. So back to the target marketing. So we're going to take a larger segment, a smaller segment of the market to attract the buyer. So we're not going to attract everyone. We don't want everyone looking at the house. We want to go specifically after those buyers that fit a certain criteria of a house. Okay. Those are the buyers we want to go after. So now I'm going to give you, and what this will do is this allow us to magnetically attract them because we have what they're looking for. Okay. So we don't want everyone coming through your house. We only want a select few. Those select few will pay more for your house because your house has specifically what they're looking for. Now, maybe it's a particular school district that they're in. Maybe it's a fenced backyard that you have. Maybe you have a pool. But we want to go after find those particular amenities and then market to those people who want those amenities. And we're going to do that with target marketing. So now let's take a look at an example here. So right now, we're looking at, say for instance, we have a 4-bedroom home that's 2 stories. It has an in-home office area, maybe even a first floor primary room. It's a fenced yard, and it's priced at $600,000. Who will buy this house, do you think? And I'll give you a second to try to figure it out. And this is an example of target marketing. We have to know who's going to buy this house, and we go after that particular group of people. So I'll give you a second more to figure it out. Are you ready? You give up? Now, if you said the most opportune buyer for that house was someone, could be married or not, but most likely they may be married. They may have at least 2 children, right? They may be a small business owner or work from home. They may have an elderly family member that lives with them. The children are usually maybe teenagers, preteens, or late teens, and they usually have a pet. They usually have a credit score that's well over 660, and right now, with that price range, their income is going to be anywhere between $175,000 to $225,000. Now, is that who you thought you would be selling that house to? Well, good job if you did pick out that person. Now, how do we find that person that's going to buy the house? Well, we can go after these companies, utilize companies like this, and these are called data companies. Now, lots of data is being collected at this time in our society ever than any time before. Data is constantly being collected on us, from the transactions, from the food that we eat, from the movies that we watch, the websites that we visit on our cell phones and online, and we're always being kind of marketed to on that basis. Well, we can use that same information to find opportune sellers for buyers for homes. Now, you can go to one of these websites and you can pull that data out that we're talking about, now that I've kind of given you an idea of what you're looking for and who you're looking for. So when you go to these websites, and you can write these down, this is the kind of data that you want to be acquiring from them: mailing addresses, email addresses, telephone numbers, LinkedIn, Facebook, social media. That's the information that you want to obtain when you go to these data markets or data centers. Okay. Now, what do you think are the best data points that you would need to acquire to get your home sold quickly within a week. Okay, look at those 5 categories, and pick two that you think are the best. Now, if you picked email and telephone numbers, those are the primary sources of data that you want to pull in order to find that most opportune buyer. Now, what would you do with this data? Now, would you send them a letter? You may not want to do that. Would you send them an email? Email rates are kind of low right now. They're not being opened up as frequently as they used to. And you really don't want to call people sometimes because of the do not call list. So what you can do with this data is we can load it up in what's called a custom audience on social media and a platform like Facebook. We can also do this with Google and YouTube. We load that data up into a custom audience. And now, because we have this information, we can put together a special presentation or the special video that we're shooting for the property so that they're going to see the property in front of them all the time, right? You ever want to see how you're talking about something and it starts to appear online as you've been discussing it or you visit a website? This is how this happens. And so what's going to happen is we're going to start a target marketed environment to get them the property in front of them until they're ready to buy. Now, they may not have decided to buy right away, so that campaign can take a little while longer. So you'll have some that are ready to buy and some that aren't. Now, what we also want to do is most top agents who sell and marketers, they send that list after they click on it and show that they're interested. They send it to what they call a well-converting website or sales funnel. Okay. Now, you can obtain a very great web page that will convert well from a place like Weebly.com, or WordPress. So you can put this together yourself, or you can use what's called a click funnel, and that'll start a very sophisticated sales marketing campaign that will take the prospect through a number of sales process until they're absolutely ready to be sold. And if they're not at this time, we'll do things what's called retargeting to continue to nurture them and to bring them along through the sales process and the sales funnel. Okay, and that's what top marketers will do. Now the question is, do you know who is actually visiting your property, or when you have your property on Zillow, a place like Zillow or Realtor.com, and you're selling it yourself? No, you won't. And so that's why you won't have a conversion as well as you would have if you have an actually targeted campaign that's critiquing and analyzing to find out who gets in front of it. Once the person gets in front of it, their information is captured, and then we start to retarget to them so that we can continue to nurture them, and they'll buy our property at some point. And we also do what's called pixeling, which gets a little bit more sophisticated, but that's part of pixeling. We're using that to retarget to them, okay, until they're ready to buy. Now, why is this so important? As I said before, as I mentioned, right now in our current environment, the average home, if it's well targeted and marketed, it's going to be on for sale for less than 10 days on the market. And that'll usually have multiple offers right now. So if you're not taking advantage of that, or that's not happening for you, what that means is you are fighting obscurity in the marketplace. No one knows your home is there. So you have to do something to get that out there and get in front of those people. There are plenty of houses that are in the MLS and on Zillow right now today, and I can show you a list where they're still sitting on the market for 90 or 120 days on Zillow. And do you know why those houses are sitting? Those houses are sitting because the person who's marketing those properties does not know how to market, or does not have the skill set to get that property in front of the most opportune buyer. Okay, so why is that so important for us? We also have additional marketing avenues. Now, we can also use something like direct mail, and that's where we would put together a very good formal presentation on the property. We send it out to that same list that we acquired, but instead of using their email and telephone number, we just use their mailing address. And we want to send them a very nice presentation, very glossy about the property. And this would not be the same information sheet that you would use at an open house and use those similar pics, those similar pictures. So I rarely recommend that you go through that length at this point, because it does cost money to have things printed as opposed to digital media and to have that mailing sent out. So it's a little too early in the process early on for that. But if I were looking at 30, 40 days with no activity and I didn't know how to change and use online targeted marketing, I would implement a direct mail campaign and send it to those that target market and get the property in front of them at the same time. Now, another reason we want to target market it, because this is so important, because we're going to have multiple offers on a property. Okay. Now, within a certain percentage, most of the offers are going to be the same in terms of what the seller's going to net. What's going to make the big difference sometimes are the terms. So you have to be able to analyze the terms of those offers to see what's going to be best for you. Maybe you need more time in the home. Maybe you need 30 days because you have a home to sell. So we have to be able to not only analyze the financial part of the transaction, what's going to net us the most after we're paying any closing costs that we're asked to pay, but also the terms, what's going to be best for us in our best interest. Okay. So that gets to the quality of the prospect. Now, if you're a homeowner, you're not experiencing this, and you're just putting a sign in the yard and posting it on Zillow and a few other sites and having an open house, you're just waiting for someone to come through between 2 and 4 p.m. on a Sunday to say, hey, I'm over here, I want to buy your house. Again, that's not the best way to sell a house right now. There are much better ways. You definitely want to hire yourself as a targeted marketer using that marketing specialty approach that I talked about. Okay. Now, right now, pricing and marketing positioning is going to be just as important, because many homeowners that are selling their homes themselves, they're either underpricing their home or sometimes they're overpricing, and they're not using that targeted marketing approach. And so what happens is, if it's underpriced, you're losing money. Your house may have sold very quickly because it's underpriced. So did you leave money on the table? Now, if it's overpriced, it may sit too long as well. And then that's never good, because the longer a house sits on the market longer than 30 days, that says to the market that there's a problem with that property. So either they know that it's overpriced, or there's a problem maybe with the amenities or something else in the house that the market has spoken and said, not this price, not these terms, right? Not right now, today. So anytime you have something unique in your house, that's what we have to emphasize. If you had a vehicle, a collector's item car, I could get someone to pay more money for it because I have something unique that I've promoted it. So rather than just put that car on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, I may go find a publication that shows me where car collectors are, and I may send a listing out to them to spark their interest, because again, they are the opportune buyers for that market. Okay, so these are the things that you have to be doing as a marketer and being a market consultant to sell your own house. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you out, as I've continued to do with this information. As a real estate professional and advisor and a marketing specialist, I'm always willing and happy to share this information. And that's why I put together this presentation, because it's going to be online for many people to see, to help give you advice on how to position your home best and market it in the marketplace so that it sells very quickly. So what I'm willing to do, and what I do is offer a free walkthrough of the home. No more than about 15 minutes do I spend, where I consult with you and give you my marketing techniques. Now, that's no obligation, and it's free of charge. And I'm going to help you determine who is the best prospect to market to and sell your home. Now, why am I offering this service? As I mentioned earlier, I'm a real estate agent, licensed, and I help people do this because I know statistically there's a need out there. With only 17% of people being successful at selling their homes themselves, many people give up, but they don't have to now, because I've given you the tools and techniques that you can use to ensure that your home is going to be sold. Now, you only have one house to sell, but you're going to, if you do what I say and implement correctly, you're going to receive tons of calls for actual buyers who are actually interested in the home. And so what I'm hoping that you'll do is reciprocate by sharing that contact information with me of those buyers who are calling after your home is sold. You can find out if they are working with a specific realtor or real estate professional. If not, you can share that information with me, and I greatly appreciate it. And if for some reason that you're not willing to implement these techniques that I've talked about, you can simply give me a call, and maybe you can give me an opportunity to take care of it on a professional level. So what would happen in our initial meeting? It would be purely educational. It's not going to be any sort of weird sales pitch. I would walk your property, take a look at the amenities, ask you a few questions about, again, what made you buy the property, to kind of position the property the best way so that we can get in front of the most opportune buyer. I'll tell you what specifically who I believe will be the best opportune buyer based on data, as we did earlier in the example. I'll give you the information from the data sources you can obtain that list from. I'll show you how to upload it into a Facebook Marketplace and put together a strategic marketing campaign that will get in front of the buyer, convert them over to a high funnel sales page, and sell the property. Okay, we'll even put together the special financing that you have to know about to help them so that they can buy the property with the least amount of money that's possible. Okay. So that's why I'm willing to do this for you. So how can you utilize this service? Well, just simply, if you do this, you'll be the next success story that I have, and that you'll be able to use that skill set to help others and share that information with them. So in order to take advantage of that, your free consultation, as I'm offering again, just give me a call or send me an email. You can call my office and just mention the free 15-minute consultation. You can call on this number, 202-849-7714. That's to my office. Leave an information, your telephone number, name, your property address, and I'll get back to you and we'll set up a time. If for some reason you'd like to use social media to do this rather than visit the home, we can discuss that too. Maybe you'll just give me a walkthrough of the property on your cell phone or your pad or something like that, and I can do the same thing. Okay, so hope this helps. Please like, share this, and pass this on to anyone who do you think would be beneficial to. And I look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care.